Oh, yeah, ladies and gentlemen. All right, welcome to the KillJoy Jake YouTube channel, everybody. My name is Barbara, and oh boy, we got a big old stream today. Some bittersweet news for the Scream franchise, which I'm sure a lot of you are already aware about. This stream was going to be very different before we decided to get in here. Sarah's already hitting on that. This was going to be a totally different discussion before what ended up happening this morning. Holy crap. So, bittersweet update, though. With Melissa Barrera's firing back in November, that still sucks. Let's be completely honest. But I can't lie. As a huge fan of this franchise, I'm excited to see Neve Campbell back as the lead in the new Scream movie, Scream 7. It's going to be a Sydney-focused Scream film. It's exciting stuff. Kevin Williamson is directing, which is wild. Once again, I'm just getting you up to date in case you missed today's update. It's all good. I'm a little disappointed if you didn't watch the video. It makes me a little sad, but we'll keep you up to date here. It's all good. Kevin Williamson is directing Scream 7. Neve Campbell's going to be the star. Guy Busick wrote the script, and the story comes from James Vanderbilt and Guy. James doesn't have a writing credit as of right now, which I think is weird. We'll talk about that in a minute. And I'm going to bring on my guest, Craven Something Scary, in just a sec here too. But first of all, I want to say hello to all of you guys, and I'm curious about how you guys are feeling about today's update. Once again, very bittersweet is how I'm taking it, but I'm still a little excited. JJ is saying Scream 7 is still alive. A story written by Guy Busick, directed by Kevin Williamson, and starring Neve Campbell. Could we ask for more? I think we could ask for Melissa Barrera coming back personally, but I'm very excited, JJ. It's still an exciting update nonetheless. Thanks for being here, my friend. I appreciate you. I think, and you know what, I'm going to say it too. I think Spyglass could redeem themselves if they get Melissa Barrera back on board, but I want to see that apology, baby. One thing, they fixed the pay dispute, right? They fixed that. Now fix the other thing, man. You got one out of two. We need both of them though. Got to make that happen still. Connie Cleary, thanks for being a member, my friend. Hello. Welcome in. Appreciate you for being here. Thank you. Old School is saying, I've always had a thing for you, Sid. I think we're going to hear that once again. Old School, welcome in. Villain Killin' Dylan is saying that Sydney is back. Hell yeah, VKD. Thanks for being here, man, and thanks for being a member. Appreciate you. Blucka saying, looks like Scream 7's back on the menu, boys. Hey, it's some good news, man. I'll take it. I'll take good news where we can get it. I haven't been able to say that in like 4 months, so it's something. It's a step in the right direction, man. Devin is saying, I don't know about y'all, but I'm ecstatic for the film. Just hope they do enough to justify Melissa not being there in the story, like how they did with Sid. I hope so. And even in Scream 6, it felt weird, right? When we got that line from Gale, it was like, this is weird, man, especially after the pay dispute thing, but all right, whatever. I hope that they're able to honor Melissa in some way. And hey, you know what? The updates haven't stopped coming, ladies and gentlemen. The movie's not coming out tomorrow. Who knows what'll happen? Things can change. Miracles can happen. That's all I'm saying. So we still got some time before the movie comes out. A lot of updates I feel like are still on the way. I think this is just the crack in the dam, if that makes sense. We're just seeing the little bit of water coming through at this point. Once the full thing breaks open, who knows what we're looking at. So I think there's still a lot to be announced with this one. Mark is with us tonight saying, I'm going to marry Neve. I am so thankful for this news. Well, shit. Mark's really excited. Holy crap. Mark, I love it, man. Keep up the good energy, dog. Welcome in. Cat Bread, a literal cat with bread on its head, saying, hello, Jake. Just wanted to say I recently met Matthew Lillard at the 2024 Kansas City Comic-Con convention, and I've got to say he was a really nice guy. I had tons of fun. Dude, one of the best auras about a human being I think I've ever been around. Dude is so positive. Dude is so kind and nice. It was lovely being around Matthew Lillard when I got to meet him last March, about a year ago. Almost a year to the day I got to meet the dude. Crazy stuff, man. He's so nice. Couldn't recommend meeting him more. Catbread, I'm so thankful that you got to meet him. That's really cool. Got to meet Stu himself. What's your favorite scary movie? Is saying, Neve returns. Will 7 take place during the events of 6 or take place in the 11 years in between 4 and 5? That way Dewey could return too. So excited for all the theories for next year. That's a possibility. That's another thing. We don't really know what this is going to be all about. We just know Sydney's going to be the focus. So that's a possibility. What's your favorite scary movie? Anything is possible right now. And we just know that Sydney's going to be in it. That's really all we know. Who knows what else is coming for us? What's your favorite scary movie? It's an exciting time. It's an exciting time to wonder what the hell's going on, man. Welcome in. Nola Ray is saying, can't wait for 7 now. Best news ever. Hell yeah, dog. Hell yeah. Quentin wants to say, hey. Dawson wants to say hi. Aqua Death late. A wizard is never late. He arrives precisely when he means to. And that's what I ended up doing today. So welcome, dog. Ethan the Goat is saying, Jake, it's happening. Oh my God. I know it's crazy, man. It's a nutty day. It really is a nutty day. I have so many feelings. I have so many mixed emotions right now about this franchise. I'm excited. I'm sad. I don't know. It's just a lot. A lot's going through my brain, Ethan. Thanks for being here and thanks for being a member. Same to you, Drizzy Fest. Hashtag Stu is still alive. Definitely something to talk about, without a doubt. Listen, fight me. I'm not a big Stu guy. I'm not. But it's a possibility. It is absolutely something that could happen at some point in the future, and I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Real quickly, I want to get to Anthony's comment here, and then we're going to bring on the guest because, oh my God, got to talk with Craven Something Scary about all this fun shit. He's coming on in just a second here. But Anthony from Child of the Corn is throwing $2 out there. Thank you for the support, my friend. Saying insane news. Let's fucking go. Scream 7 dedicated to Nev and Kev. I like that, man. Dude, I'm hyped, man. I'm very hyped. I hope that they're able to turn this into something good. I have my reservations, as you know, we'll probably get into in tonight's conversation. But I'm hoping it's good, man. I'm hoping it's good. I hope that we have nothing to worry about here in a couple of months and a couple more updates in the future. But we'll just have to see, man. Child of the Corn, Anthony, dude, thank you so much for the $2. Ladies and gentlemen, go subscribe to his page. He runs a very cool horror channel. So make sure to do that. Thank you so much for the support, man. Appreciate you a whole bunch. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring on the conductor of the Stew Train himself, Craven Something Scary. What is going on, man? How you doing?
Stu, that's what's going on, bro. I am excited. This is the best news we've had since Christopher Landon was announced director, and how exciting it was. Remember, we were on cloud 9. It was an amazing time. Pardon me, my goodness.
You got to get it out, man. You got to get the frog out of the throat.
It's the frog, the rat. It's got to get out.
A fellow rat eater, I see.
I'm just saying, Red Right Hand inspired me, man. There's a moment. So, but seriously, Jake, I'm very excited with this news. And, we've talked before many times about it as far as Nev coming back. Right? I've been saying we've got to go, like, if Gary Barber and Spyglass is going to save this movie, in my opinion, I've been saying for ages, months, you have to go legacy. You got to go legacy. You got to get Nev back. In other words, she needs to be the focus, right?
Yeah.
Well, it finally became official today that she's back. Sidney Prescott is back again. But what I was not expecting on any planet in our galaxy to hear was, and it's so funny, if you saw the Hollywood Reporter, the headline of the article, was Nev returns, I'm paraphrasing, Nev returns to Scream 7. That was the headline. I'm like, all right, yeah, we got her back. This is going to be amazing. Well, then I start reading the article, and then it says, and Kevin Williamson has signed on to be director of the movie. And I was like, what? I had to reread it. I stopped and I'm like, are you kidding? Kevin Williamson? I never in a million years saw this coming. And I'll tell you how important the Scream franchise is to Kevin, Jake. Think about this for a second. He's only directed one other film, and it was Teaching Mrs. Tingle in 1999. That's it. This is so important to him that and again, I don't know the specifics, right? This is just me interjecting a thought. But I think what happened was he said, you know what? This is such a blank bleep show. I'm going to save my creation, what Wes and I created, and I'm going to step in and direct this myself. And I think it would not surprise me, Jake. And I'm rambling a little bit. It's exciting, but I wanted your opinion. It wouldn't surprise me, guys, if Kevin Williamson played a part in Nev's agreement to return. I could almost picture him calling her. Radio Silence wrote a letter, right? And for 5, I could picture Kevin calling her and saying, Nev, let's get the gang back together. Let's make Wes proud. Let's do it upright. Let's do another one together. I don't know if that happened, but it sounds very plausible.
with the way that Nev Campbell's post today was worded, I could totally see that being the case. I mean, she basically made the second half of that statement about Kevin Williamson and basically about how excited she was for him to be helming the project. I think I'm paraphrasing once again, but off the top of my head, she said something to the degree of like, I've always wanted to see a film helmed by Kevin, and now that's a reality, you know, and that's, I think that is without a doubt a part of it for sure. Because, you know, going back to Scream 5, the only reason that Nev Campbell was down to do that one was because apparently the Radio Silence guys wrote a very strongly worded letter to her about being in the film. This is another way that this could happen again, that Nev Campbell could come back. That makes, I mean, yeah, no, that absolutely makes a lot of sense. You know, the franchise creator is like, let's do this right. You know, let's make this work. Let's try to change the narrative of what's been going on in the Scream fandom lately. I get it. Yeah. I mean, you know, if this was my franchise and, you know, all of this had been going on, I would want to try to change that too. You know, that I would be so upset. I'd be like, damn, like this is what we're talking about with my beloved franchise. It's in the gutter now. You know, I would want to change that too. If I was Kevin Williamson watching from the sidelines, I'd be sad. I'd be upset.
Be like, put me in, coach. Heck with this. I'm going in, man. I'm taking charge of this thing, and we're going to restore this back to what it was in the old days. And I say the old days, the original, the first 4 films. And you know what? Who better? I mean, you can have Radio Silence, Christopher Landon, all these people that really admired Wes. They really wanted to do a good job. But I can't think of anyone in the world, honestly, that will take more care with this movie than Kevin Williamson. I mean, I just can't think of one. I mean, dude, not only did he honor Wes or appreciate Wes, he worked side by side with Wes. I mean, you know. Yeah,
I mean, he knows the guy. He knows the guy's the craft. He understands this franchise too, really well. I mean, he created it back in 1996, and now he's actually helming it. He's taking it down his own direction.
Exactly. And so I think this opens the door, and we'll get into it, you know, as you take us there. But this opens the door for so many things. Yeah. And I've got a little wish list, and whenever you're ready, we'll get into. Whenever you want to get into, we'll get into it.
Yeah.
I got a little wish list of people that I think, with Kevin in charge, it's really possible now that it could happen with this wish list.
Oh, so. Dude, listen, we're not. I don't only want to go over all the stuff that was announced today. I got notes. I'm fucking ready. Not only do I want to go over the stuff that was announced today, I do want to just talk about, you know, theories. Like what is to come now? You know, we have a jumping point. It's for so long the Scream talk has just been whatever theory we could just throw at the wall. Now we have something to a jumping point essentially. So we have a lot to talk about tonight with things that are actually confirmed for once. No rumors, ladies and gentlemen. This is for real. For real. I love it. Ooh. But before we do that, I do want to say hello to some of the members who are just throwing in some chats in here. They've been members for a very long time, like Connie, who's been a member for 9 months. Oh my God. Love it. Thank you so much, Connie. Appreciate it.
Connie's all right.
Hell yeah. Saying, woohoo, glad Sydney is back. Connie, I'm also very excited too. I can't say it enough. I know I say it every time, but I love your bird. He's vibing. He's just kind of in his little shoulders like this. He looks like he's about to like punch me in the face or something. I love it.
he's ready for the news too, man. Look at him.
See, he's excited. The bird is even excited. I mean, come on.
Yeah, he is.
That's exciting stuff. Connie, thank you for being a member for as long as you have. It really means a lot to me. And hell yeah, Scream 7. Let's hope this is a banger. Fingers crossed.
Oh, yeah.
We also have Mr. Rick coming up on almost a year. Oh, my God, Mr. Rick. Thank you so much for the support, my friend. Great news. 2 days before your birthday. Oh, my God. Happy early birthday, Mr. Rick. Hell yeah, dog.
Ah, that's fantastic.
Finally getting some good news for one of your favorite franchises right before your birthday. I mean, isn't that perfect? I love it, man. Perfect, Mr. Rick, man. Thank you so much for being a member for as long as you have, man. And thanks for always dropping in these streams. And most importantly, I hate to sound so selfish. Thank you for the red right-hand profile picture, man. Come on. Love it.
That is very cool, by the way. Yeah.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Mr. Rick, thank you again so much. Really appreciate your support, dude. And we also have Barb hanging out with us. What's up, Barb? How's it going?
What's up, Barb?
Barb has been a member for 9 months, and I had the pleasure of meeting her at a convention this last October. Very fun time. She's saying, woohoo, didn't know you were going live tonight. Oh, with all this news, come on. I had to get a word out on it. So Barb, I hope you enjoy. We're going to have a fun little conversation. Nothing too, not going to go too long. Just talk about the big points, and then we're going to chill out. But I had to do this while, strike while the iron is hot and all that fun stuff, right? So,
Absolutely.
Barb, thank you so much for being a member. I really appreciate you. Really does mean a lot for you being here and supporting the page for as long as you have. So thank you, Barb.
Awesome.
We also got a new super chat from Lighting Ghost, throwing $2 out there. Thank you, Lighting Ghost. Appreciate that. Saying hype for it, but going to miss the core 4 though. I am too. Craven, I want to throw this to you though, because once again, I do feel like today's update is a little bittersweet. The core 4 at this time is not confirmed to return, and I even mentioned this in my update today. Recent updates on Scream 7 before this were that Mason Gooding and Jenna Savoy Brown both had not received a call to come back for Scream 7.
No.
What are your thoughts on the core 4 at this time? Do you think there's any way, shape, or form that they could come back for Scream 7, or has that ship sailed?
Okay, so is it possible? Yes. Right now it's still possible, but do I think they're going to come back? I am leaning towards no, because if we're going to take Mason at face value, who's most recently spoke about it and said that they haven't heard a thing from the studio, from anybody with 7. It seems to me if he's now, again, I'm taking him at face value, right? He's being honest. And if that's the case, at this point, they would have to have been contacted. I just can't imagine there would be no contact if they were part of the script and started part of the plans, right? The only thing unless he's pulling they've told him, look, you can't, you have to deny it. One of those NDA things. So I say you got to weigh that out for yourself, each person's own convictions. But my opinion is, if Sydney, and again, too, here's the other thing. Are they going to try to keep, this is a whole other can of worms. Are they going to write this with continuity with 5 and 6? Or is Guy Busick and Kevin, I'm sure, has a hand in writing too, uncredited, I'm sure. Kind of like Landon was going to be.
Yeah.
Or is Guy and Kevin kind of bypassing 5 and 6 and saying, you know what, we're going to be like a Saw 10. We're going to insert our movie here. So 5 and 6 are canon, but we're going to happen beforehand. We're going to say 12 years after Scream 4 events. And you're right. And then if you do that, now you've got legacy upon legacy. You've got David Arquette back. I mean, you've got the whole gang back, dude. So it depends on that. But the only thing that gives me a little slither that maybe they're going to come back at some point is because Guy is still a writer and he was a part of the Carpenter story. So, here's my thought. You can always, maybe this is the lazy way to do it, but it could always be your opening kill. I mean, not that I'm saying I want that, but it's always an option.
Oh, man. I mean, my thing about that is I almost just feel like it would be kind of distasteful after everything that's happened. You know what I mean? It's like what are we gonna do to honor the last 2 movies? We're gonna kill off the only 2 people we can have come back. I don't think that screams Terminator Dark Fate. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but it's like we killed John Connor in the opening because we just don't want to deal with that character. You know what I mean? It's just what is that going to do to serve the narrative? I don't know, man. I mean, agreed. I think if they come back, they got to be characters for a little while, and then if they die, they die. Listen, this is a slasher movie at the end of the day. If characters have to die, sorry.
Let's face it, they're overdue for death. I mean, let's be honest, dude. I've never seen so much survival from 2 characters in a franchise.
I want to see Chad come back and get shot with a rocket launcher and live through it. That's honestly that's what I want more than anything.
Yeah.
Let's just have it be a running joke that he's invincible. I mean, at this point, why not?
Right.
Come on, man.
There's not even blood in him anymore. If he gets stabbed. It's like sparks fly out. It's like wires. He's like a freaking robot, like a Terminator.
He's got like Deadpool powers. He just like regrows himself. He's just like, ah.
Totally.
It's like, what?
Totally.
Oh my God.
Dude, let me tell you something, man. When I was interviewing Matthew Coder, who was Ghostface, one of the ghost faces in Scream 6, right? He was the one on the right side. If you're looking at the screen,
yeah,
it would be Chad's left side. He was one of the ghost face stabbing Chad. When I had him on my channel, do you know this man burst out laughing that that he lived.
Yeah,
he was like, you know, he's like, there's no way he would live. And this is the guy that was stabbing Chad in New York. I'm like, come on, man. But I mean, look, I say this, Jake. I say if you want to have a connective tissue to 5 and 6, then go ahead, bring in Chad and Mindy, but they don't survive. They were supporting characters. The Carpenters were the leads, so they have to die, man, if they come back.
I think they have. I think they have potential though. That's, you know, I made a whole video about Mindy's character and how, like, I feel like the reason people don't like her is they're just not writing her the right way. Like they're not writing her like the last two Randys. Like that's the biggest problem. Like I even pointed out, like the way they introduce Mindy in Scream 6 is by not giving her character development. Like Annika asks her like what was your, you know, are you bothered by that? Are you bothered by the fact that someone's wearing a ghost face mask, like the same mask that someone wore to try to kill you? She was just like, nah. Like, what? No, have her have a problem with that. That would make the character way more interesting, you know? Like, we don't see, like, Nev Campbell in Scream 2 just being like, yeah, you know, I'm actually fine after everything that happened in the last movie. Like, no, that wouldn't be interesting. That's not fun. No. But to kind of close this out, Lighting Ghosts super chat here, I'm kind of with Jason here. Jason summed this up really well. I had mixed feelings about today's news. On one hand, I'm happy Nev is back, but the way they did Melissa Barrera still doesn't sit well with me. That's where I'm at personally. It sucks, man. It sucks. I don't even think they even had a conversation with Melissa from what I know. It just sounds like they just announced that and Melissa Barrera was fired. She was gone. That makes me sad. Once again, I can't stress it enough. Something that I don't see anybody talking about is this is just the start of the updates. You know what I mean? We're just getting like Nev Campbell's not going to be the only person that's part of the cast.
Oh no. Oh no.
No, of course not. This is a Scream film. We still have announcements to be made in the future. Who knows? You know, maybe a week from now we get the announcement that things have been reversed. I don't know. Listen, I'm talking out of my ass here clearly, but I really hope, fingers crossed, somehow Spyglass is able to make up for this and get Melissa back in the movie somehow. I want Nev, at this point I want Nev Campbell to be the focus, but I would love to see Melissa Barrera come back somehow to be in this movie. Just as like a way to like honor her and just be like, okay, you know, we're getting past that dumb fucking mistake that we made and we're fixing this somehow. And if not, something else I pitched in my video today was, you know, Scream 8, when they sell the rights, maybe they make that with Melissa Barrera back as the focal point. And then everybody's happy. You know what I mean? Like,
you could.
Craven, I would say you represent the longtime legacy fans who want to see something that feels more like the Wes Craven movies. That's something that it seems like Scream 7 is going to fulfill at this time. So would you be okay with 7 kind of feeling like that, and then maybe 8 being a conclusion to the Carpenter sisters story? Is that something you'd be kind of into?
I would be open to that. Sure, I would. I mean, I would be open to them coming back if that works, because, you know, Melissa said, you know, at the convention the other day, remember, I saw it reported that she said, once Spyglass sells the rights, then I'll come back. I'm ready to come back. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I would be fine with that, you know. And if they somehow work out a deal with her now, or, you know, apology, whatever, and they bring her back in 7, I would want to see her back as, check this out. Think of Scream 5, where, you know, Nev or Sydney, Sydney comes in at the very, basically end of the show, right? Dewey's killed the third act, and then she's kind of a basically glorified cameo. Well, what I'd like to see is that if this happens, bring Sam back, like Sydney was in 5. There you go. The roles. They flip how the 5 roll. So Sydney's the Force, but Melissa shows up and she's there to help. She's there to, there's something there that would be cool to me. I would be okay with that. In 7 even, if they were able to work it out, but it just doesn't. I just don't see them. When she says if Spyglass sells the rights, I'll come back. Dude, I don't. That doesn't look good, buddy.
I don't think. No, I don't think she. I'm with you. I don't think she's coming back for 7. Like I genuinely don't. I think that ship has sailed. If she's gonna come back, it's gonna be with a different studio that's making a new Scream film, and that's kind of why, like, my headspace. I'm with you. I think 7 is gonna be like this Sydney-focused story about her family, and then Spyglass is gonna sell the rights because that's the requel trend right now. We do 3 movies and then we're moving on to something else. I think someone else picks it up and we'll be like, well, yeah, people want this, and Scream is popping right now. Let's make a Scream 8. I really think that's a major possibility, especially with all this love and support for Melissa Barrera in the community. I can definitely see it happening. So
that's right. Yeah, I think so, man. I think so. I think, like I say, anything's possible. We're still a lot of time. But look, let's face it though, man. If they're gonna have to get these, because they've already got cast members locked in.
They do.
They just haven't announced them. They're done. Not necessarily, may not be done, but they're locking in people. And they're gonna stagger these announcements. This is what they did with 6. Remember how we got Kirby, and then we got Dermot Mulroney, and Segura. How they just staggered them. So I think you're right. There's more coming. I think they're coming in the coming weeks. I think we're going to be getting another big one probably next week. It would not surprise me. But my point of it is this, Jake. If they're going to start filming in the summer. Right? It depends. Are they doing a winter setting, or are they doing, we've never had a winter setting for Scream. So I don't know. But let's just say they're going to do the summer filming. They start in June or July. They wrap up in August, September. Post-production through the end of the year. February, March drop date. They got to get busy. It's March 12th. Yeah. They've got 2 or 3 months to have the entire cast locked in. Locations, everything. So based on that script that we saw today from Nev, which if you guys have seen it, look at the bottom right corner, and it says March 12th,
today's
2024.
Date. Yeah.
What that means is, and Jake, you know this more than anybody. You're a filmmaker. That's a revision date. That means that as of today, literally today, they made script changes again. And I'm just saying, it could be for anything, but it tells me that there had to be enough script done for Nev to say yes, because she's going to want to look at that script.
She wouldn't have said yes without seeing what it looks like. I mean, think about what Nev has said in the past about the character. She won't agree to doing something if Sidney Prescott dies. She has said that on multiple occasions. There's no way, like, my thoughts on it right now is that they at least have a base outline of what's going to happen in Scream 7. There's just revisions that still need to be made. They're probably still in the writing phase and just getting the cast together. But they have, like, I'm going to say they probably have like 90% of it done, if I had to guess. You know what I mean?
I would say so. I think so.
Probably makes, it's really just coming down to polishing and final touches, stuff like that. And there's a few questions I want to talk about with that, but I want to get through these super chats first, because the audience has questions we got to talk about too.
Yes, you've got a voice. Let's go.
Y'all got a voice. I love it. Lollipop Sanchez throwing $2 out there. Thank you so much, my friend.
Saying, love the picture. Love the avatar.
That's one of the questions. We're getting to the stew talk, I promise. When do you think Scream 7 will be released? And also, hi, Craven.
Hi, Lollipop.
I think that's how they said it. I don't know, but yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Craven, thoughts on a release date for Scream 7, though?
Hey, man, I'm kind of, unless they're going to do a winter release, a winter setting where snow visually, where it's cold. I believe, my gosh.
Take your time.
I know. Like, woo, take a breath. I predict a summer filming, end of year post-production, trailer, get everything done. And then they release it as early as January, like Scream 5. I think it was 5 in January, whichever one was in January. Anyway,
5.
It was 5. Yeah, I was right. January was 5. The next one was 6 was in March.
Yep.
I think that's the release schedule. Now, if they want a winter setting where it's cold, there's snow, they want that visual, then they're filming November, December, and then post-production January through March, and then we're looking at a April or May release, maybe June at the latest. Although they're going to want to avoid the summer blockbusters. That's not a very good time for horror to release. So I think you want to get that first quarter of next year. So that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I could see like another March or an April release date of next year for sure.
Yeah.
And that's what was rumored for a little while. Who knows if that's true or not, but I totally could see that, especially if they do film this summer. That would make a lot of sense in my mind because they wanted, I think Spyglass, trying to think objectively here, they probably want a quick turnaround on this. They want to, announce, hey, really exciting news, come see the movie, and then, if it's a piece of shit, whatever. But they want to get this thing out like snappy, real fast, get it out, have people see it before, the shine wears off, let's say. I hope it's something good. I'm talking about it like it's going to be polishing a turd. I hope it's not, but dude, I have my reservations.
Kevin Williamson, I just don't believe it's going to be bad. I don't think he would allow it to be bad. I think if there's holes in the writing, he's going to fix them. I just don't, you know what I mean? I
hope, man. I really hope. I'm so worried though. You know what I mean? Because it's coming from Guy Busick and James Vanderbilt. Now this is originally the script was written for the Core Four. Yes. And now we're writing a Sydney-focused story. So this is a rewrite. You know what I mean? This is and something that is notorious in this franchise is rewrites are not usually a good thing. I mean, look at Scream 3. Like, listen, Scream 3 is a lot of fun, but it is a bit of a mess story-wise. I'm so worried that's going to happen again here. I really hope not. I'm praying that this is a concise and well-told story, and it's not just about the glamour of past characters coming back. I really hope it's more than that because this franchise usually is. But we'll just have to see, man. We don't know. I don't think we know enough yet to be able to confidently say something like that. It's just kind of what's what's going on in my mind based off of that title page we got revealed by Nev Campbell today. So I'm a little worried about the writing side of things, probably for different reasons than what other people are saying. Some people are like Guy Busick and James Vanderbilt can't write a script, and if that's your opinion, I respect it. I personally love 5 and 6. I think they're a lot of fun. They're great additions to this franchise. But the thing I'm worried about here, rewrites, man. Is studio meddling. That's something this franchise has dealt with so many times in the past and has not resulted in good things usually. But we'll just have to see, man.
Here's how I like to think of it, and I try to be the optimist, right? So, and look, this may be a hot take. It's just my opinion. I'm not a real James Vanderbilt fan. I'm just going to tell you that up front. I'm much more of a Guy Busick writing fan. I like his stuff.
I agree.
And so when I saw that James has moved on to another movie, I'm like, oh, good. Okay, now James is gone. We've got Guy as the writer now, and I like to think of it like this: like, we got Sidney Prescott back, Guy. We need to do a story featuring her, and it's a rewrite. I know it's really a rewrite, but my thought is just that you could write even a better story. And Guy doesn't have James hovering over him. Because, dude, you know how many interviews I've seen with the two of them? And Guy tries to talk, and James just shuts him down.
Oh, shit.
Dude, I'm not joking. They're out there. I've seen at least 2 or 3. And James takes total control. Guy's just sitting there. And I'm like, dude, he let the guy talk. He's a co-writer. Clearly, James was the head writer, right? He was the chief creative officer at Project X, which is the production company of the film. So he was the number one writer. Guy was here. Well, that's been removed. So I'm thinking now, Guy's got no limitations. Let the man write. Look, I think of Ready or Not. I think of these movies that are just so good he did. And so for me, Jake, I'm a little different. I'm more on the side that I think it's going to be better because James isn't there.
Well, personally. And you make a really good point about bringing Ready or Not up because in my opinion, and this might be a hot take, I think Ready or Not is a much better script than both Screams 5 and 6. Just in terms of like consistency, you know what I mean? I feel like that is a tight script that is trying to set up something. It executes it really well, and that's all it does. It's a very simple movie, and that's all it needs to be. It's great for what it is. There are moments in 5 and 6 that definitely get a little overcomplicated. I think that's due to two things. You have multiple writers that, like you said, I wasn't there. I wasn't in the room. That might have had conflicting ideas. And also the fact that you're telling a story in a very long-running franchise where a lot of things certain things had to happen. You know, you had to have Billy Loomis be a ghost in the background of shots where maybe he didn't need to be there. You know what I mean? Right. You had to have certain connections to the past that maybe feel a little overbearing, a little too much, overwhelming, I think is the better word. It's so much nostalgia at times, especially in 6. Yeah. It's almost like you want to puke. Feels like everything's got a candy coating over it. So with that, I think maybe it's going to be a little more concise in Scream 7 for that reason. We could spin it that way, and that would be that's the best case scenario. I would love for that to be right.
Yeah, man.
And it's weird. I'm usually the optimist in this corner, but this is a rare turn for me where I'm kind of like, I don't know, man. I don't know, but I hope you're right, Craven. I hope you're right. I hope I'm dead wrong. So
yeah, man, me too. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think that we're gonna see we're gonna see the best written movie since Scream 4. I hope you're right, man. I really hope you're right. That would be awesome. Yeah.
Lollipop Sanchez, though, thank you for the $2, man. And hashtag Stu is maybe alive. Maybe we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that in a second, though, because I saw a super chat that has to say that. We got a few involving Chad, though, real quick. Jordan Talks Films. Thanks for the $2, man. Appreciate you. Saying, I think they stabbed Chad with shallow stabs. I'm sorry, that's really funny.
What would that be about that size? There, a couple centimeters. Just a little poke.
They just poked him. You know, that's it.
Yeah.
Didn't even break the skin barely.
No. You could literally put a Band-Aid on it and it'd be all right. No stitches.
He didn't even have any internal organs poked, man. Like,
dude, I'm telling you, man. I'm serious. I mean, not to repeat myself, but I had to control myself to not laugh. Because I wanted to laugh with Matthew, and I did kind of chuckle, but yeah, he was laughing that they made that he couldn't believe that he lived. He said, "It's like there's no way you're gonna live through that." And this is the guy that did it. I'm like, I hear you,
dude. Chad's invincible, man. It's fine. It's why can't
a vampire or something? You know, he's drinking the blood, man.
Kevin Williamson created Vampire Diaries, dude. Yeah, why can't we have a crossover? Okay. Well,
oh, gosh, dude.
Come on, man. Look, Ian Somerhalder put him in Scream 7. Let's make it happen. Jordan, thank you so much for the $2, man. Here's hoping for a Chad return, man. Let's see it happen. We'll see. And speaking of Mason Gooding, Lighting Ghost is throwing $5 out there. Thank you so much again for a super chat, man. I did hear a while back on Mason's stream, Jack Champion, they streamed together. I don't know if you know about this, Craven.
Oh, cool. No, I didn't.
He asked if he has seen the Scream 7 script. He said, I can't answer that, so who knows? I don't know, man. I mean, Mason Gooding said he hadn't received a call. So I don't know. Like,
I know. That's the thing. He's like, I haven't heard from anybody. So is that NDA talking? No, non-disclosure, or is that honest? Is he being honest? That's where you have to. It's like a quarter. I mean, it's like a coin. There's two sides, and then when these people start to open their mouths up about roles, you just have to question it. Like, is it? I don't go at face value, Like if someone said Matthew Lillard, in fact, they actually did this a couple months ago, and I got the audio for it. When they asked Matthew Lillard, "Are you in Scream 7?" He said, "Nobody's called me yet." He says, "But even if I was, I would say no." That's what he said. I'd say no. Of course, you're not gonna admit to that. So that's why I'm like, man, I don't really think he's gonna be in it. And I'm talking about Mason, but he very well could be. You
never know.
Up with, hey, Sydney could get attacked, and next thing you know, she gets a phone call, and it's the twins. Are you okay, Sydney? My mom and us and my mom were worried about you. I mean, it could happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I still think we're at this phase where anything's possible with Scream 7. Like, until we get a full cast update, that's when I'm going to stop the core 4 talk. But I really think we're at this phase where truly anything can happen. Apologies can still be made. Fingers crossed. I'm almost at the point where I don't even care if it affects the movie. I just want to see Spyglass make up for some of the shit that they've done. It would be really cool. So Lighting Ghost, we'll just have to see. I'll be following the updates. Well, hey man, who knows what's going to come in the next couple of weeks. So Lighting Ghost, thanks for the $5, man. I really do appreciate that. And ladies and gentlemen, what most of you are probably here for, Connie Cleary's on it. Thank you for the $2, Connie. Thoughts on Stu Macher? Now, Craven, I think the majority of our audience knows what you're going to say. But to the shock of maybe everyone here, I genuinely do believe that Matthew Lillard could have a chance at coming back for this movie. And I just real quickly want to lay out so many reasons why. I am someone who I am not on the Stu train. Craven knows this. He wants to get me on there so bad, but I'm just...
It's going to happen.
It might happen. Who knows? I'm not there yet, but it might happen. I'm not here for it. I don't think it makes any sense, especially if 7 continues from where 6 left off. But it would be totally possible. Think about this. Spyglass wants to save face. Matthew Lillard is popping right now with Five Nights at Freddy's and the upcoming Five Nights at Freddy's 2. They put him in this movie. Well, guess what? You have the whole Five Nights at Freddy's fan base coming over to Scream 7. Fuck, I mean, if they did that, Scream 7 would make, I think, way more money than the last 2 installments, even with the controversy, which is an insane thing to say, but it's true, dude. I mean, look, all the Five Nights at Freddy's fans would be storming the theaters. Think about all the Wednesday fans that came to see Scream 6 just because of Jenna Ortega. They might not have even seen any of the movies that came before. This makes a lot of sense. It doesn't, but it makes a lot of sense. Craven, I know you disagree, and I'm going to let you talk in 2 seconds. But one more point. This could be a Sydney-focused movie. Again, I don't think it would have made sense to bring Stu back if they were going to go that route in the last 2 movies, because I don't know why he would be going after Sam Carpenter. But Sidney Prescott, you know, the girl that dropped the TV on his head and nearly killed him, maybe killed him, maybe didn't kill him. I could see that. I could genuinely see that being something a studio would want, like, as a story that they would want to tell. Once again, I'm not for it. I'm not here for it. But Craven, you're the conductor of the Stu train. We have a lot of reasons to believe that old Matthew could be coming back. What are your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, no, I think it's very possible that he's coming back. I think, you know, number one, for those who may not know, Guy Busick is a Stu truther. He has admitted in interviews that he's always trying to find a way to get Stu back in to a Scream movie. That's what he wants to do. And so he absolutely is the correct writer to have Stu back. Okay. That's huge.
Also a good point, dude. Also a very good point.
Yeah, big time. And that you can't be ignored. Also, if you're Spyglass, again, you're looking at revenue. And here's the guy that's Matthew's popularity is getting higher and higher. Five Nights at Freddy's, and the sequel's coming, as Jake said. I mean, why wouldn't you want to cash in on that? Why wouldn't you? If you're a studio, heck yeah, let's do this thing. Let's cash in and make as much money as possible. Also, you know, and I know there's a lot of fans that don't want Stu back, and I'm fine with that. I respect your opinion. I'm totally cool with that. It's all right. However, there's a lot that do. And there's a lot of legacy fans that want him back and have been wanting him back for ages now.
Yeah.
With Sidney back, confirmed, Kevin Williamson directing, Guy Busick writing, I'm telling you, I believe that this is probably the best chance we've ever had for Stu to come back since Scream 3. I think this is probably the best shot. Now, does that mean he's going to be back? I don't know, man. I wish I could say yes. I know for sure. I don't know. But I will tell you this. It would be amazing to see him back against Sidney for one more time, one final battle. And I will tell you another thing that's very encouraging for the Stu side is when I met Alan Robinson, who was Matthew Lillard's stunt double in Scream 1. He told me, and I've got this on video on my channel and everything. He said, whenever it came, he's the one that actually was on the ground when the TV was thrown. All right, he was a stunt double. He said Wes Craven talked to him about the scene. He said, "Okay, in this scene, you're going to get electrocuted." He said Wes never said you're going to die in this scene. He never told him Stu's death. This is Stu's death. All he ever told him was you're going to get electrocuted. So Wes Craven himself never actually told the stunt double playing Matthew Lillard that this was a death scene. And so, in the words of Alan Robinson, not mine, he said you could very easily make a case that he survived. This is what he said. But you know what? Here, look, guys. Again, we're talking about fiction, right? And like Wes said, if he wanted to make documentaries, if he wanted to make movies about real life, he'd make documentaries. Jake, it takes just the stroke of a keyboard to bring someone into a movie. Is that easy?
I do like stroking my keyboard.
I know you do. I know you take pleasure, and you've gotten really good at it.
Pleasure is the right word.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, I will say this, guys. I'm not going to go on and on. Although this is my soapbox, I am the conductor of the Stew Train. I could take the rest of the stream on this, but I won't do that because there's more things to be talked about. But I will just tell you this: that if Stu is going to come back, I think this is the movie. This is finally the movie that happens.
And Craven, me and you, we've gone back and forth about this for literal years.
Yes.
And my thoughts on it. I still stand by by everything I've said.
Yeah.
With it, even though my lawyer, Killian J. Jacobs, he's a huge Stew Train guy. Fucking loves it.
Oh yeah.
you know
we're real good friends now. Oh
yeah. Yeah. He's been on your channel, so he knows what he's all about it.
That's right.
that's that's something for some of y'all who have been here for a while. But point being, even though I'm not for it and I don't think it would make sense, it is without a doubt a possibility right now. And I think that's something that even if you're someone out there who's like that's so dumb, like I can't see that happening. No, I can totally see that happening with considering the situation. Like it doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense. That we're beyond that at this point. We're not at that point of the argument anymore. We might have been there during before Scream 5, but considering the situation where Spyglass has gotten themselves to, I think it's almost inevitable that Stu is going to come back in Scream 7, considering everything we know about it now.
I think so too, buddy. Look at the big picture. You got to think big picture here, man.
And once again, I don't know if I'm gonna like that or not, but I think it's gonna happen, dude. I think you're finally gonna see your wish come true, Craven.
Yes. So. And let me just tell you, if Stu is in this movie, it is going to be. Man, it's gonna melt the internet. It's gonna melt. I'll be getting a live stream going in a minute. I see that movie. I'm streaming. You're on it. I'm grabbing you. I don't care where you're at. Jake, you got to get on. We got to talk about it.
I'll be happy for you, Craven. That's.
I'll take that, man. I'll take that.
That's what I'll be thinking watching that movie. I'll be like, you know what? Craven is going to be so happy watching this shit. So
right, it.
There's that at the very least. And, if someone's happy from a movie, man, then that makes me happy. That's cool. So,
yeah.
Connie, that's where I'm at with it. Thank you for the $2. It's inevitable. Stu's coming back. I don't know what to tell you.
I think so.
But we also got another super chat from Anthony. Thank you so much, man. Thanks for the $5. Really appreciate you, dude. Saying Kev loves the high school setting. Faculty, Scream. Sid's daughter will play a major role. Use Sid's history and torment with the family. Sid plays protector mom. Whew, I really like that. Craven, thoughts on the rest of Sydney's family playing major roles in Scream 7?
Well, that's interesting. So if this would mean there's a time jump. So, because right now in Scream 5, her girls are in a stroller. So they're at the very least, they're toddlers. So this will be like a 15-year time jump approximately, maybe a 12-year time jump, depending on their age. So if they're in high school in this movie, that would be pretty wild. I think I'm down for it. Here's where you can hire some young new talent that will draw in your younger crowds, and they can kind of be the ones that get them into the cinema. But you've got Nev there, Sydney overseeing them, and Sydney being a huge part in helping them solve the case and all this stuff. So I think it's an interesting idea, Anthony, honestly, for if they do the time jump and make that happen. I'd be down to see that, because I've always told you, Jake, in our conversations that, when we get to screen 12, hopefully, then
It'll probably happen. Let's be honest.
I think it will. And eventually we'll get to screen 12, and then you have the girls. You have her. I would love to see the kids be the focal point, and Sydney's in the background helping out. So, but I don't want to see Sydney in the background though. So that's the thing for me. I don't want to see her as a Scream 5 kind of supporting role. I want to see her as the target more than the girls. So that's kind of where I'm at.
I'm in this place where I'm so worried about Scream 7 being a rehash of something we've already seen. So like my big thing with it is I think with Scream 7, if you're going to go down the route of this is going to be about Sydney and her family, make her family the target. Like Ghostface doesn't want to kill her. Ghostface is beyond killing her. He wants to kill her family so that she has to live with that loss for the rest of her life. That to me is way more fucked up than killing Sidney Prescott. I don't know. Like in my opinion, that to me not only reinvents your Ghostface motive, but makes this a whole new movie. This is a whole new film about what Anthony is essentially saying here. Sydney playing this protector mom, trying to protect her little babies, who let's say they're still like how we saw in Scream 5 in a stroller. They're literal like 3-year-old toddlers that maybe can walk. That's right. That's where the stakes are in Scream 7. I think that raises the stakes, it reinvents Sydney's character, and it makes a Ghostface who has to have a different motive than anything we've seen in the past. That fixes all of the potential issues I could see with Scream 7 being another Sydney story. And that's my biggest thing about it. I guess I just don't want to see another random Prescott family member come out of the woodworks and be like, haha, I'm your second cousin. I'm going to stab you now. No. I'd be like, no. What are you doing, guys? Come on now.
That's right.
So that's my big thing about it. I don't know. I'm curious what your thoughts though are.
I'm good with that, man. I'm good with that, because I mean, what's going to motivate Sydney to be that on fire, just that warrior type personality we've seen from her? Mess with her kids, dude. That's gonna do it. It's gonna bring it all out. And you know what? When you take away someone that you're closest to, that you love someone, so closely, and you take them away, you'll do everything and anything to get back first of all, to get them back, or if they're deceased, to get back at the person who took them. So Stu Macher, well, actually, let me say it this way. Sidney Prescott took away Billy Loomis from Stu Macher, who he was his best friend on the planet. He loved him. They were together. I'm just talking about being best friends. They were killing with each other, for gosh sakes. She took him. He's never had another person in his life like Billy Loomis. Who can he take from Sydney? The kids. So she can feel the same pain. I'm just saying, possibilities. But I think you get it, Sydney, through the kids, through the family. I agree. But listen, but I gotta say this, man. If I'm jumping ahead, let me know and I'll wait.
Nah, hit it, man.
This family consists of more than her 2 girls and Sydney.
Very true.
We also have another very important family member. It is Mark Kincaid, the husband and father of the children, the husband of Sid, father of the children. And my question for you, Jake, is, are we going to is Patrick Dempsey, is he already signed the contract? Is he in?
Yeah. Oh, dude, the ink is dried. The ink on the paper is dry. Listen, and if this was just another Scream movie, whatever, new cast, I'd be like, I don't know, man. But dude,
Yeah.
There's so much that says that Patrick Dempsey is going to be in this movie already. I mean, Nev Campbell's back. It's going to be a Sydney story. Why else start with her as your announcement, essentially?
Yep.
We just got a movie from Spyglass where Patrick Dempsey was one of the main characters. He's familiar with these people. They've worked with him on, another movie that was a whodunit too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
dude.
It was.
He's totally in it. There's no way he's not. I'd be shocked. I would be. There's a 99% chance he comes back for this movie. Like I don't know, dude. That would be. It would almost be dumb. It would almost be dumb for them not to bring him back at this point.
Absolutely, and like you say, he's already got a relationship with the studio. Well, he was in Thanksgiving, and it would be very easy for them to call his agent and say, "Hey, man, got another movie for you, right here in the family." Bam, Mark Kincaid. All right, now look, I've got a couple of people on my wish list. Can I share those with you real quick?
Absolutely, real quick, Anthony. Thank you again for the $5, man. I do really appreciate the support. Let's talk. I do want to talk. I wanted to get to this because this was so interesting. Wish list people you want to see in Scream 7. So are these new people or are these people from the past?
Well, the two individuals I'm going to tell you are going to be maybe a little out of left field. They are legacy people. And of course, there's some new people that are on my dream list that, you know how that goes. But
yeah,
hey, we did get Samara Weaving in 6, which that was on my dream list too.
Same.
So it happened. Yeah. But the first person I want to give you from my wish list, and two of these people are off camera. They're not even on camera. And number one is Marco Beltrami. Get Marco back, Kevin Williamson. Let him score this movie like a proper Scream film. Look, nothing against Brian Tyler. The guy's talented. I think he has a knack for certain types of movie scores. But I never felt like the Scream scores for me were memorable. I don't remember any of the melodies. I can't tell you. And if you put on one of the first 4 Scream films, I can remember Sid's theme. I can remember Dewey's theme. I can remember these symphony sections of during scenes. I remember them, Jake. They were powerful. So I missed that in 5 and 6. So I want Marco back for 7, scoring the film. So that's my first one. What do you think?
I'm so here's where I'm conflicted. Okay, I 100% agree when it comes to Scream 5 versus the 4 films that came before it. But there's one, like the main theme of Scream 6 kind of bangs, dude. Like I totally agree with you in the sense that like I love that every character has a theme. It's a little more intricate, way more detailed than Marco Beltrami's scores. Like I think the first 4 scores beat 5 and 6 all day, every day.
Yes.
But I will say, man, something that I've added, I have now added to my, I'm such a dork. I listen to like horror themes while I'm writing a script or editing, whatever.
Yeah.
Something I've added is the main theme from Scream 6, that I don't know, something about that kind of fucks to me. But 90% of that I completely agree with, though. I think Marco Beltrami's scores are just better. And I think that's what you're saying right there. He has way more memorable melodies versus the more just atmospheric stuff that Brian Tyler does. It's 2 different animals, really, is what it is. And I just think it comes down to preference. It's not bad. It's just not memorable.
No, it's not memorable. That's bingo. You said it perfectly. So if I'm Kevin, I'm already made the call. I made the call and said, Marco, what do you think? Let's do another one. And it gets me excited to think about seeing score music, Marco Beltrami. I'm like, oh my gosh. All right, I'm going to give you another one.
Okay.
This individual off camera was responsible for the first 3 Scream films. He edited about 8 or 9 Wes Craven movies. They worked hand in hand. He was a protege, basically, of Wes Craven. Wes actually gave this person their very first, not gave, but he earned it, but I'll just say gave. He gave him his first opportunity to direct a film, which was Wes Craven's Dracula 2000. And I'm talking about Patrick Lussier. And Patrick Lussier edited Screams 1, 2, and 3. And you're talking about, and Ed, you know this, Jake, I'm preaching to the choir. When you're talking about editing a movie, that is so important because that controls the pace,
Yeah.
the pacing of the film. It is so critical. And something about his style of editing with Wes in those movies, they're just wonderful. They're wonderfully done. And we don't have Wes, obviously. Sadly, he's gone, but this was his protege back in the day. This was his guy, and they edited, like I say, 8 or 9 films together.
Yeah.
I want him back. I want him editing Scream 7, dude.
And I don't, this is more than just editing. This is more than an editing note, but it does ultimately come down to what hits the cutting room floor and what doesn't. The thing I've noticed rewatching Screams, mostly Scream 6, I would say,
Okay.
is that you're missing out on a lot of character moments. It's very fast paced, which I think is really fun the first time you watch it, but something I respect and kind of like almost honor and love about Scream 1 especially is you just get these moments where the characters are slowly reacting to something that's just happened. Sydney walking around in her backyard, you get these gorgeous rolling landscapes of Northern California. It's little things, right? It's stuff that you'd almost forget about after your first watch, but it adds so much on a rewatch. You have actually, okay, I take that back about Scream 6. There are little moments here and there, but it's just not, I don't know, it's not the same as the original. No. I love in Scream 6, though, the park sequence. I think that's actually one moment where they do that very well. But otherwise, for the majority of the film, it is like, okay, let's get to the next thing. Okay, move on to the next thing. And after, I don't know if you've read the Scream 6 script, but there's so much more to some of the side characters that ended up just getting cut out. And I'm like, why? Like, Dr. Stone is the biggest thing. I have to do a video on this. I've yet to find time to do it. But Dr. Stone has like this extended scene when you meet him and Sam that got cut down so much. I'm like, why? This was so important. Like, it establishes that he's this huge horror fan, right? He's a nut for horror films. I didn't get that from the movie. Like, I never got that unless you were, looking at the background at all of his horror memorabilia. It feels out of place though. Otherwise, the scene literally starts with that. He's like, oh, sorry about all that. He's like geeking out about all the horror stuff he has in his room, and then you get Melissa Barrera saying like, my father was Billy Loomis. He killed people, and then he's like, whoa,
he's freaking out. Yeah,
it totally changes the whole scene, dude. Like, I can't believe they cut that out. I'm like, that scene would have been way more powerful. I would have been way more interested in that character if they had let that stay. He's still scared even though he's a horror fan. You know what I mean? It's simple, but it's effective, and they ended up cutting it out, which makes me so sad. So I guess my point is we lose a lot of that in Screams 5 and 6 in exchange for a faster pace, which maybe works with the younger audience, but on rewatch, it's something that I think detracts from some of the newer films. I hope we get, I do agree. I hope we get an editor who understands character moments and just taking your time when you can. Stuff that doesn't slow the pace down, but stuff that builds upon character, which is something that I feel is missing from some of the newer films.
Yes. Yep. I agree 100%. And, I think this movie, and again, Patrick Lucia hasn't signed on, or and Marco Beltrami's not signed on, but Kevin Williamson has. But I really believe we have the chance, Jake, for this to feel like a Wes Craven era Scream film. Like, we're going to step back in time in a good way, and I think the chance, the opportunity's there.
That should be the goal. I think that should be the goal of this one. At this point, I feel like that's going to be the best case for success with them. Mm-hmm. With Kevin Williamson directing, Sidney Prescott back as the focus, and Jordan Talks Film is suggesting Mia Goth potentially being in the cast. That's interesting. It's an interesting choice. That's sure. Okay. That's on your wish list too.
Yep. But if she's in the movie, it's opening kill. It was like Samara Weaving. It will be. Unfortunately, I don't think they can afford to have her. Plus, what would she play a supporting role now? I mean, I guess because she's kind of turning into a lead final girl type role, or it's hard to picture her just being someone
like in the movie for a long time.
Yeah, just in the movie, and I'm not saying it can't happen. I mean, look at Scream 2.
Yeah,
when you had every star in the world was in that thing. That's crazy. So anything's possible. But she's on my list. It would be amazing to see her. It would just be hard for me not to say, Jake, we got our opening kill.
I totally agree, man. I to me, it's the same argument with, she's played killers before.
Yeah.
Could you see her as a ghost face though? I was saying the same thing about Samara Weaving though. And like, that was clearly an opening kill, but it was like in the back of my head of like, but come on, man, that would be so dope if she was the killer,
So cool, man.
So I think I'm with you. I think that's what's probably going to happen, but my wish list would be that she ends up being our killer at the end of the movie, just to give us another crazy performance from her. I don't know if you've seen Infinity Pool, but I think she's nuts. She's nuts in that movie, and I love it. I can't get enough of it.
I can't either. I mean, she's an amazing performer.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing actor. It would be amazing to have her in the whole movie. That would be nuts, dude. Totally nuts, but it'd be great.
It would be a lot of fun, Jordan. I'm with you, dude. Thank you for the $2, man. Let's keep our fingers crossed. We don't have a full cast list yet, so who knows? Who knows? Real quickly, Craven, I want to get to some of these super chats, but I do want to finish your list because I got to know who else you got on here, especially cast wise too. We're talking about editor, we're talking about score. We're just scratching the surface, is how it sounds. And I know you got to go soon, so we'll do this pretty quick.
Yeah. Okay.
Nightfall 3D throwing $5 out there, saying creatively kill Sydney and finish Gale off. Graphic on-screen deaths for both, and I'll be happy. I don't know, dog. I think after all the controversy that's happened with this franchise, people would leave the theater.
Imagine after all this, they kill Sydney. Oh man, yeah, people would walk out. I know for sure they would.
Can you imagine if Kevin Williamson did that too? Like, he created these characters. He's like, well, and I'm gonna be the one to kill them too. I'm ending oh man, people would lose their minds, man.
Yes, dude. Yeah. Boy.
Nightfall. Yeah, I don't know about that one, dog. Thanks for the $5 though. I really do appreciate it. Now, Craven, I know you got to go. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get to your super chats, but Craven does got to get going. So, Craven, finish your list for me. Do you got anybody in the cast list that you want to throw out there?
Trying to think. I was really wanting to hit on, Marco, Patrick, Mia, but I will tell you this, and again, we're talking wish list, so it's you can put anybody you want on a wish list, right? That's what the point of it is.
Yeah.
But man, it would be pretty amazing to see Skarsgård, man.
Ooh. Now what role do you think he's gonna play though?
Now see, that's this is the tricky part. What if he was a lead detective?
Ooh.
Detective. So he's in the movie all the time, trying to solve the case, and you're always wondering, is he a ghost face or not? Always. Is he a red herring, or is he a killer or not? We wouldn't know to the end.
Pull a Barbarian, dude. Yeah, make him a red herring. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, man, and that would be, I think it'd be a great performance. It would be entertaining to watch. And it would be keeping us off guard, kind of like Kincaid in 3. A little bit of that misdirection and red herring stuff going on. I think that would be pretty darn cool. And if we got Goth and Skarsgård, now I know this is never. We're in fantasy land right now, but
one of the biggest horror franchises, man. I don't know. I mean, that's true. It's not impossible. It's
not impossible right now, man. Because with all that's happened. Spyglass they're going big. They're taking the shot. They have to.
Yeah.
They have to go big as they can go. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're calling all these people and many more, these younger talents that are really, really doing well and popular in horror. And honestly, and the girl, and I'm terrible on names and I don't have her name in front of me, but the girl in Barbarian. That was renting the Airbnb.
Oh my God! Yeah, I know. Oh my God! This Georgina Campbell.
Yeah, dude. I thought her performance was amazing in Barbarian.
Oh, she kills it in that movie, and I want to see her in more stuff. I know she was in she was in a prequel to Bird Box on Netflix, but I'm sorry to Bird Box fans out there, but who cares?
Can't argue with you on that, man. So, unfortunately.
I would love to see her in more horror, though, for sure, without a doubt.
Yeah, I think she'd be a great addition to the cast as well. So, Just make it a Barbarian reunion, man. Just put them all in there.
Dude, Justin Long
Oh my
in Scream 7.
gosh,
Oh,
dude.
fuck. I would love that, dude.
Wow, Justin Long. That would be hey, dude, he was just in It's a Wonderful Knife.
Yeah.
So, I mean, come on. Why not?
As you know, he was doing a little stabby in that movie.
Yeah,
That's
he
not
was.
necessarily a spoiler either, which is the funniest part of that.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
Justin Long. How about that? That would be I just hope we start getting, man, these announcements like you say, like today was like pushing the ball or the boulder off the cliff, and it's going to start rolling now and gaining momentum. And it's going to start this. So next week, bang. The week after, bang. Or they may flood us in the same week. You know, where we get this today. What happens on Friday? Bam. Then we get another big announcement. Who knows?
It's coming. I mean, we're going to get a full, I think in like a month, maybe a month and a half, we'll have a full, like a remotely full cast list, a little better idea of what we're looking at for this whole movie. I couldn't agree more, dude. Craven, I know you got to get going, man. Is there any last words about the update today, about anything else you want to throw out there regarding Ghostface?
Man, not really. I think that this is good news. It's exciting news. And I think that, you know, given all the circumstances, that this is the best scenario probably we could be in right now. That's what I believe. And now it's just sit back and wait to see cast members, location, you know, shooting dates, all those other little things we're waiting to find out. I would just say if you're a Scream fan, it's a good time. It's a good day. This is a good day to be a Scream fan. And if you're a Legacy fan like I am, going back to the original, it's a really, really good day because Sidney Prescott's back and Kevin Williamson is directing. Which is insane. And oh yeah, by the way, Riley Rage, thank you for mentioning it. That was on my wish list, and I just remembered it. Lynn McCree.
Marine
Prescott. Yes. She has told me multiple times that she wants to come back. She's ready. She just wants to wait for a phone call. If we could get a flashback of Maureen, I don't care what it is. I would love to see her back in the movie. With Sydney's mom.
It is a Sidney story, man. I mean, that is not completely out of left field at this point. So you never know. Maybe.
You never know, man. Fingers crossed. So, but Jake, I want to just say thanks, buddy. This was thanks for the invitation tonight. This has been a blast. I love talking Scream with you, man. Any day, anytime, man. You know it. This is awesome.
Dude, thank you so much for joining tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're not subscribed to Craven Something Scary, what the heck are you doing? Go hit that little red button on his page. You're almost at 12K, right, man? You're almost there.
I'm 140 subs from 12,000 right now. That's it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you could get him very, very, very closer to that. That's a lot of, I don't know if that makes grammatical sense, but hit the red button. Yeah, it makes sense to you. You're like, yeah, I just want people. Come on, subscribe. Yeah, go subscribe to Craven's page though. Check it out. If you want to get on the stew train too, that's the place. That's the place to do it. So
it is. If you want to be on the stew, you don't have to be on the stew train. I'll love you. You'll be loved by the family. It's all good. But if you do, I got the goods. I can hook you up.
Man's got the tickets.
That's right. Got the tickets, everything. So come on over, hang out with me. Jake's my bud. And, you know, it's always a good time over here. I love it. And love your folks, your community. They're great as well. And we share a lot of the community as well, which is awesome. So
Oh, yeah. It's great stuff, man.
But yeah, I hope to see you all over on my channel as well. And hey, if I could just plug one thing real quick.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night, Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Central, about the time your movie's wrapping up, I'm watching Scream 4.
Ooh.
My favorite sequel.
Nice.
Scream 4 with the Night Watch Zone and Nate Reagan from Reagan Productions, who was a consultant on Scream 4. So
no way, dude.
Yes, he was a consultant on 4 and 5. And so we're watching 4 tomorrow night. He's going to give a ton of inside information about the movie, and he has some very special screen used memorabilia at the end that's going to blow your mind. I promise you, I've already seen it, and my mind was blown. So you don't want to miss it. So anyway, I just wanted to say that tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central. Come on over and watch Scream 4. We're gonna have fun.
Nice, man. Hell yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, check that out. And Craven, again, thank you so much for being here, man. Really appreciate you.
My pleasure, brother. Talk to you soon.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
All
Peace
right.
out.
Peace out.
See ya. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we're going to keep the stream going for a little while, so no worries. I want to get to a few more super chats that we had. I just know Craven had to go. I kept him up late past his bedtime, so had to get him out the door. But real quick, let's talk about some of these bad boys. We're going to keep the stream going for a little while, so if you want to hang out, talk a little Scream with old Jake, let's make this thing happen. So Anthony from Child of the Corn, thank you again for the $2, man. Appreciate you. Can the Carpenter mom come back without the daughters? You know, this is another thing like the Stu situation where I just don't feel like it would make sense without the Carpenter sisters. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I see why. I've heard a lot of people talking about Christina Carpenter. They want to see her come back. They want to see her somehow be a ghost face or whatever. I don't know, man. It's just too similar to what they did with Sydney, I think. You know, it's just like you're making a family member the ghost face killer. As someone who is not particularly a good character either. One that has been shat upon in the last two movies as being kind of a bad mom, kind of disowning her own daughters. I just think it's way too predictable. I'm not here for it. And I kind of think that it just wouldn't make sense without Tara or Sam. I just don't think it really, I don't see the point, I guess is my point. So I guess in a future movie like Scream 8, I could see that being a possibility. But once again, old Jake is just not really crazy about it. I don't think Christina Carpenter needs to be a part of the story. She's just kind of a facet of what makes the story work in Screams 5 and 6. And that's all it needs to be, just like Leslie Mocker. You know, I think some people read into that a little too much personally. That's just my thoughts on it. But I don't know. We'll see. Anything's possible, man. And then Scream 8 can still happen with a brand new studio. So here's hoping, Anthony. Thanks for the $2, man. I really appreciate you. Who else do we got coming in here? Dean Renner. What's up, Dean? How you doing? Welcome in. Look at that beard, man. Shit, you got that perfect cut right there, dog. Dean is saying the script Nev showed today, is that fully written? Great question. I mean, it literally says that the draft came today. So who knows? I think it's anyone's guess. I don't think that. I have a feeling it's not fully written. I don't even really know where that comes from. I just have a feeling that they have a baseline of what this is going to be about. It's going to be Sidney Prescott in the focal point again, and that's it. Like that's what we got so far. We got an outline. We have this thing pretty much figured out. It just needs some polishing. And as we were talking about a moment ago, I do believe Kevin Williamson will have a hand in it. Probably uncredited. He probably won't ask for like a writing. Some kind of like writing credit, whatever. It's similar to what happened with Screams 5 and 6. I mean, like, you can't tell me that Kevin Williamson didn't have some kind of creative involvement with it. He's an executive producer for a reason, I think. I remember even hearing him saying that he was like really involved with the writing process and how everything shook out. It's his franchise. It's his baby, after all. This is the thing that, I mean, literally shot him into stardom. I don't think he would just be like, yeah, you know, whatever. Like, okay, you know, these new young guys, they can just do whatever the hell they want with it. I just don't believe that. I can't put myself in Kevin Williamson's shoes and think that I would want to just sit back, straw boss that shit. No way. No, Kevin Williamson was somehow involved with it creatively, and I'm sure he will be with this, especially if he's directing. Like, there's no way, man. There's no way he's not going to have a hand in it. So I think for sure that if it is fully written at this point, if they do have a completed script, Kevin Williamson has looked over it. He's happy with it. We're going to move on with it, and it's going to be something that he's down to direct. It's a story that he's down to tell, because that's really, I mean, at the end of the day, being a director means a lot of things, but it also means that you're the one who's going to visualize this story and make it and come to fruition. So you wouldn't want to do that with a story that sucks, you know, especially if it's a continuation in your beloved franchise. So I think that if we do have a fully written script, it is Kevin Williamson approved. That's my thoughts on it, Dean. But who knows? Who knows where we're at right now? I also don't think that Nev would agree to be in the film unless she had read a fully written script that pretty much had her fate confirmed by where it was by the end of it. So that's just my thoughts. Paul is even hitting on it. Sydney has a no-kill contract. Yeah, so Once again, I'm totally with you. I think they have at least 90% of a script done, some idea, some direction of where they're going next for sure. Dean, again, thank you for the $2, man. I really appreciate it. And I love your beard. Darkly Loving Nats. What's up, dog? How you doing? Throwing $2 in there, giving us a little cast suggestion here, saying Crispin Glover would be a great ad. You know, he loves rats, as we saw in the Willard remake, I believe, right? Dude loves some rats, so I'm a fan. He also likes to do some crazy dance moves in Friday the 13th Part 4. And he's also, you know, Marty McFly's dad. That's like the biggest credit, and why did I get to that one last? That's so weird. But Crispin Glover, I'm here for it. Sure, why not, man? I think the biggest thing that is on my mind at the moment is who is the younger cast going to be in this? Because we always have that. It's a Scream film at the end of the day. You're going to have a younger cast one way or the other. You know, Sydney Sweeney is someone that comes to mind who's really popping right now, who's also in a big horror movie coming out in like 2 weeks here. Immaculate, new horror movie y'all should look out for. I'm going to be covering it on this page. We have like 3 big horror movies coming out on the 22nd, by the way. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do that week. I'm thinking about kind of taking it easy this week so that I could just go nuts on, on the 22nd. That day's going to be nuts, man. Late Night with the Devil, Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire, Immaculate. It's insane. Crazy weekend for horror. So I'm going to be busy. But I'm excited to see what the cast list ends up being. I'm sure we're going to have some more stars that have never been in a Scream film pop up in this movie as well. Crispin Glover would be a great ad. Sydney Sweeney is one that's like pretty much, in my mind, a front runner. Catherine Newton is another one I would love to see in Scream 7. Who knows, man? Who knows? I think Spyglass is going to really try to just get as many people in this as possible who are popping at the moment. So, Darkly Loving Nat, thank you for the $2, man. Great suggestion. Love me love Marty McFly's dorky dad. Jordan Talks Films is throwing another $2 in there too, saying, please kill Gail in Scream 7. Please, she's so trash. You're talking about my favorite Scream character there, man. Damn, it's brutal. I love Gail because I think she has one of the best arcs in the entire franchise. I think she's really interesting. She goes from being this like just really angry, bitchy reporter to kind of a little more sympathetic. I mean, obviously in 6, she falls back on that a little bit. But I kind of like where her story's going. I want her to be in 7. I think that's the baseline where I'm at with the character. I want to see her in 7, potentially going back on what ended up happening in Scream 6. She now has a new lease on life kind of ordeal. You know, after 5, sure, she got shot, but I mean, she did not have it as bad in 5 as she did in previous films. That's all I'm saying. I think that's why she ended up just writing the book and being like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to make money on this because someone else will do it anyways. You know, she's making up excuses to just write the book and make a bunch of money. I think we're genuinely going to see her write the Dewey book in Scream 7. That's where I'm at with her. And I do think that Scream 7, they're going to play it a little more safer. You know, I know some people don't want to hear that. Hell, I don't want to hear that. I want to see Scream 7 be a trashy, risk-taking movie. These are my favorite kinds of movies in this franchise. But I genuinely think this is going to be a safer movie. We have a lot of pissed off fans right now. Scream 7 has got to do something to make those fans not so pissed off. So I think this is going to be a pretty safe movie, as much as I hate to say that. I think the legacy characters are pretty damn safe. I don't see any big deaths in Scream 7, even though I'm sure that after Scream 6, a lot of us, including myself, want to see some big emotional deaths, but I just don't think that's going to happen. So I think Gail, and also I feel like there's more that Gail has to do before she dies. That's my other thing. I want to see the Dewey book actually get written. Scream 7 should make that happen. That would be a nice connection to 5 and 6. I don't know. Let's see it happen. But hey, we'll see, Jordan. I respect your opinion, man, but that's my favorite Scream character. I think Gail's fantastic. Thanks for the $2, though, man. Really appreciate you. Thanks for the support. Joseph Martelli. What's up, Joseph? You're looking quite dapper in your PFP, my friend. Thank you for the $2. Thoughts on Scream beyond the 7th film? So I talked about this in my update video today. I want to see Melissa come back. Like, bottom line. I'm here for Scream 7 being kind of a throwback, you know, with Kevin Williamson directing. It feels a little more like the earlier films because I also, once again, another thing I totally detailed this whole thing in my video today. So apologies if you saw that and I sound like a broken record. But, you know, Screams 5 and 6, they definitely have their own vibe to them. That is different than the vibe in Screams like 1 through 3, Scream 4. I feel like a lot of these movies all have a different feel to them. And that's okay. You know, I like franchises that evolve, but I think Scream 7 is going to be like this throwback in terms of tone, in terms of creative direction, where, you know, Screams 5 and 6, we're trying to be something new, something fresh, something more Radio Silence versus Wes Craven, which are 2 different flavors. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that both flavors have their own like positives and negatives, which I love about both sides of the franchise. But I think that 7 is going to be this one that feels more like the original trilogy. And to some people, that's music to their ears. To some people, to others, they might be like, I don't know about that. I'm excited for 7 to be that. But I'm also excited for a potential 8th film to come from a different studio and maybe continue the Core 4 story, which would be great. I think a lot of us love the Core 4, especially after the 6th entry. I would love to see that story continued. This is the best of both worlds, too. We have a movie for the longtime fans that feels more like an older film, coming from Kevin Williamson. Neve Campbell's the focus of it. Then we get 8 in a couple of years, let's say, that focuses back on these new characters that are beloved by the fandom, unlike a lot of other requel characters in other franchises. Like, I still don't, maybe when Star Wars Episode 7 came out, there was a lot of love for Rey. But there's just not, I just don't see it anymore, I still see people talking about Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker or Princess Leia. I don't see that about some of the new requel characters in that franchise or the Jurassic World franchise. So I don't know. To me, I think there's this definite love for the Core 4 that totally could fuel another movie with them sometime in the future. Scream 7 is just not that film, is how I see it. I hope it happens though, Joseph, because personally, I think that's something that has to happen after all the BS that ended up going on with Melissa Barrera in real life. I think that sucks. I think another studio can make up for that too. I don't know if Spyglass will be the one to do that. Even if they do want Melissa Barrera back at this point, it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. And that's Melissa's own doing. She doesn't want to come back. And I respect that. I get it. I wouldn't want to come back after all that bullshit either. So I get it. I get why she wouldn't want to return. So Joseph, my thoughts are an 8th film has to happen. I think it's inevitable. I think it should happen, and Melissa Barrera should be absolutely the star of it. So I'm hoping that happens beyond the 7th film. I don't think it's happening here. I don't think we're going to see any of the Core 4 and 7, but that's just my thoughts on the matter at the moment. So we'll see. Joseph, let's hold out hope that we get another one that focuses on, just another story that could be told in this franchise. Thank you for the $2, man. I really appreciate you. Thanks for stopping in, dude. And I really like this comment too. No Gale slander. No, I'm kidding. I respect everyone's opinion. I just love me some Gale. What can I say? JJ, thanks for the $2, man. Appreciate you. Scream 7, Kevin Williamson as director versus Kevin Williamson as writer and director. This is something I've seen a lot of people talk about today, which I think is really interesting. So yeah, what's up with that? Why is Kevin Williamson not writing this one? He's directing, which is a little bit out of his wheelhouse. We were talking about he did direct a film in the past, Teaching Mrs. Tingle. I've never seen it. No idea what it's all about. It's a black comedy as it's described. So it's like comedy that deals with darker elements. I'm into it. I don't really know too much about it, except it's apparently about some high schoolers who are trying to teach a nasty teacher a lesson. I don't know, man. I mean, maybe it's good, maybe it's not. Well, I'll have to check it out and tell you. I have had a lot of comments on today's video though, saying, dude, you got to see that movie. It's so good. So I'm hyped. I hope I'm not overhyped, but I'm excited to see it nonetheless. It's not horror from what I've really read about it, but we'll see, man. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But why is he not writing and directing this one? I really do believe that Kevin Williamson had a hand in writing this one, maybe even more so than Screams 5 and 6. Once again, there's no credit to his name that he had any creative involvement with 5 and 6, but like I said earlier, come on, you're telling me the franchise creator didn't say, oh, what if you did that instead of this? You know what I mean? There's no way, dude. There's no way that didn't happen. I'm telling you, he had some creative involvement with the last 2 films. Same thing with this one. I think it's without a doubt Kevin Williamson was guiding Guy Busick, saying hey, do it this way instead of that way, I'm sure that happened. I couldn't be more sure. If there's anything I'm sure about with Scream 7, it's that. So I'm sure that he has some kind of uncredited writer element to this film. We just don't know about it. And it's probably little things. He probably didn't come up with the story, but if Guy Busick had a question, I'm sure that he was like, hey, Kevin, what if I do this instead of this? And Kevin was like, do that. That's my guess. Very vague answer, I guess, but I think there's something to that. So he's directing it. He has creative involvement. I'm sure that it's gonna have his flow and feel to it, JJ. So thank you for the $2, my friend. I don't think you have anything to worry about in that case. If you love Kevin Williamson stories, I'm sure you're gonna dig whatever they got going on here in 7. Barb's throwing $5 out there. Thank you so much, Barb. Appreciate that. And thanks for being a channel member too. Gail being the only OG that's been in all of the installments now, that's something special. I definitely am curious what she'll bring to Scream 7. Yeah, once again, she's not confirmed as of right now. Really, the only cast member we have confirmed is Neve Campbell. But I think she's going to be back. I think Gale will for sure be back. I think if there's two people for sure, Patrick Dempsey, Gale Weathers. I think for sure those two are going to come back. I would love to see Hayden Panettiere in this one as well. That would be a lot of fun. I don't think the core four are coming back, but Gale coming back would be really cool. And for this reason too, Courtney Cox made history with Scream 6 by being in 6 installments of a slasher franchise. One of the only, big actresses like that to do it. I would love to see her come back for 7 and continue that streak. That would be it's horror history. It's fun to talk about. I'm here for it, dude. It's women kicking ass too, which we all love. That's fantastic. So I'm here for that. I'm really down for that. I'm here for Gale Weathers coming back. She's got to write that damn book. I want to see it. I want to see her write the Dewey book. Make it happen, ladies and gentlemen. What does she bring to Scream 7? Hopefully a character shift once again. I want to see her feel bad. She came very close to death in that previous entry, man. I think that there's something that has to change in her character at this point, or what? We're just going to keep doing the same thing with her? She keeps going back on her promises every single time. She's written another book about Scream 6? No. She was, there was a deleted scene in Scream 6 where she was apparently at the hospital just feeling awful about her choices and her decision making. Basically, she was the one that brought that all on herself by writing that book. She kind of empowered the ghost faces by doing that. And I think she really learned her lesson after the events of 6. So in a way, I feel like we're on this like plot cliffhanger with Gale Weathers, where she has to write that book. She has to write a book that actually will mean something, and change the world in a better way, opposed to what she has been doing. So I'm here for it, Barb. Let's make it happen in Scream 7. Thanks for the $5 again. I really appreciate you. Want to make sure. I think I got all of them. There we go. Just making sure. Carrie Craves Cinema has been a member for 22 months. Holy shit, that's almost 2 years. Carrie, thank you for the support. I really appreciate that. And also recommending Teaching Mrs. Tingle. It's brilliant. Helen Mirren is fire. All right, dog. I'm here for it. I'm here. I'm going to check it out ASAP because I have to at this point. Teaching Mrs. It just got such a goofy name. I can't read that name and not be like, that's just so goofy. Helen Mirren's a great actress though. I'm here for it. I'm excited to watch it. Kevin Williamson wrote and directed it too. Something I don't see a lot of people saying. A lot of people are just like, oh, you just directed it. No, he wrote and directed it, dog. It's pretty cool. Pretty exciting stuff. I'm going to check it out as soon as possible because, writing a story and directing are two completely different animals, two completely different approaches to how to creatively do something, I guess is my point. When you're writing a story, there's totally different things you need to know versus when you're directing someone. You get directing is looking at a script and saying like, how can I get that emotion amplified in somebody? How can I do that the best way? Versus how can I write that for a character? It's two totally different creative aspects. So I'm curious how like what his directing is too, based off of his own script. And I guess Scream 7 is a similar situation. Like I said, there's no way he didn't have creative involvement. So I'm here for it. I'm excited to watch this movie. I think it's going to be very telling as to what to expect from Scream 7 as well. So Carrie, once again, thank you for being a member. Almost 2 years. That's crazy. Carrie, really appreciate your support. You're an OG. You've been here since the beginning. I really appreciate your support over all these years. Thank you. Thank you so much, Carrie. Thanks for being here. The Bearded Entertainment has been a member for a year. Oh my God, no way. Eric, dude, that's awesome, man. Eric, I gotta have you on the channel, man. We gotta talk a little Scream, I think. Eric has been a huge help for this page as well. Dude came all the way out to Ohio to film drone shots for our Scream fan film a couple years ago, and I'm still very thankful about that to this day. Eric, thank you so much for that, for that, and just being a member, supporting the page for all this time, dude. Really does mean a lot. You're a great friend of mine, and I'm just so thankful to have you part of this community, man. It's great. It's great stuff, dude. So thanks for being a member for a year. Thanks for being here tonight. We got to get you on the channel soon. We got to make that happen. Subscribe to the Bearded Entertainment, by the way. He makes really cool videos, ladies and gentlemen. I was on his page recently, rewatching Red Right Hand. So check out that live stream, man. It's a great stream. We had a great time talking about that movie. So thanks for being here, dude. Nightfall 3D's throwing $5 out there. Thank you again, Nightfall. Saying, ooh, Gale's attack in 6 drives her to Christ, and she's drowned by Ghostface dressed as a substitute pastor during her baptism. Nightfall 3D, dude, I'm telling you, man. Listen, I get the want for brutal shit in horror movies. Trust me. Like, you're talking to a Terrifier fan here, man. I want to see some crazy shit go down in that. Y'all have seen those videos of me talking about what I've been talking about. But Man, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, dog. Like, the fans would revolt. They would picket. Like, you think it's bad on Twitter right now, dude? Like, fans will burn down a building, dog. If this shit happened. I mean, I can't believe there wasn't a bigger, like, I can't believe more people didn't lose their minds after Dewey died. And it made sense. It made sense thematically. It made sense with the movie they were trying to tell. And even then, we still had a lot of people freaking out about that, dog. So I'm telling you, with how shit things have been lately with Scream, they're gonna play it so safe in this movie, which I don't think is necessarily a good thing. I think some characters should die eventually. I'm honestly one to say that Gail probably should have died in the previous movie, considering where her character went. But now that she's still alive, I think there's an opportunity for a bit of redemption. And that's going to be interesting. That's going to be a cool route to take it down. But once again, sometimes the character, sometimes it's just better to kill him off. Have your emotional death. Because that's good. That's why we see movies. I want to feel emotions. And not all those emotions are happy, especially not in a slasher movie. No. Oh, I want to see some emotional deaths. Dude, Annika's death was heartbreaking, man. Her and Mindy like kissing right before that, and then she fucking dies, dude. I was heartbroken over that shit, dude. Oh, God, that made me so sad. It's like, fuck. Mindy finally had something good going for her, and then it was literally thrown off of a ladder. God damn, that's so fucked up, dude. I remember, like, the moment she hits that dumpster, I just could feel my heart break. Like, I was just like, oh my God. Oh, jeez. That was awesome. I want more of that in Scream 7. You know, I've seen so many slasher films where they just, I don't know. I've seen so many slasher films where they just play it safe. They kill all the characters you don't care about. And I think that sucks. I want to see more. I want to see more shit like that, dude. Scream 6 had like one of the most emotional deaths in the entire franchise, in my opinion. 5 and 6 really made me feel something that some of the other films don't. So I don't know. I do want characters to die, but I want it to make sense. I want it to work with the story that they're trying to tell as well. But trust me, I get it, dog. I get wanting to see some of these longtime characters die too. So I'm not totally against that, but I don't think 7 is the place to do it, I guess is my point. So Nightfall 3D, your suggestions are crazy, man. Keep them coming. I love it, dog. Thanks for the $5. I really appreciate you. I couldn't imagine, dude. I couldn't imagine an opening kill where it's like something like that, dude. Oh, brutal at this point. Bearded is saying I have an idea for 7 that involves Gale. Think it's pretty good. Throw it out in the chat, dog. Let's hear it. Run it up. I'm curious what you have to say. Curious where Gale's character could go in 7 besides just finally writing the book. I'm not imagining that this is going to be something that happens early on, right? Like if Gale does end up writing the book, it's going to happen in the 3rd act after, Ghostface has been caught. It's the denouement, you know what I mean? Like in there, you see Gale typing with the sun is rising in the window and she's like, Dewey was a great cop who did all these wonderful things and I loved him. That's what I'm imagining. It's not going to be, it's not going to be Scream 4 again where she's trying to write a book the whole movie. No, maybe she's trying to write something about Scream 6 and then doesn't end up doing it, but we'll see. I'm totally speaking out my ass right now, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh my God, if Mindy was brought back, still isn't afraid of Ghostface masks, but terrified of ladders. Luddy, oh my God, that would be that's really funny. It's not funny, but it's really funny. Oh my God. Yeah, she's fine with Ghostface masks, but horrified anytime she sees a 6-foot stepladder. That's so funny, dude. Oh my God. Yeah, you know what? That solves a problem with Mindy, man. Her actually having to deal with trauma. That's such a big thing, I think, with horror movie characters. You want to get a character to be instantly relatable, instantly, you want to root for this character, have them dealing with trauma. And they decided not to do that with Mindy's character, just in the movie. They wanted to avoid that entirely. I don't get it. I don't understand that. Sure, it's, maybe a bit repetitive, maybe too similar to some of the other characters on screen, but just have her going through it in a different way. So... Nightfall saying you want character arcs in slasher films? Gasp. Listen, you have a point, my friend, but Scream is the place to do something like that. Scream has always been a little more about the protagonists versus the antagonists, and I think that's what makes it special, something different. I do feel like they can make the killer arcs a little more interesting sometimes too, which is something I've always felt that they could improve upon. Why not both? Why not have good character arcs and good killer arcs too? But Scream definitely always, if it leans one way or the other, a little more towards the characters, where most slashers don't. So you have a great point. You have a great point, but that's what Scream is all about. It's all about trope breaking. It's all about fucking that shit up, throwing a monkey wrench in anything that you think you know about slashers. What else do we got going on? Okay, Eric is saying Gail has written the book in between 6 and 7. Then 7 is a mirror of Scream 3. We're on a movie set making the book into a movie about Dewey, maybe a true crime limited series if we're to follow what happened in the previous one. We could get some more Dewey in the way of home movies. I actually kind of like that. More David Arquette, just get him back in the franchise. But it's like home movies of, you know, the time period where they were living together, which is something we technically really haven't seen on screen. A little bit in Scream 4, but not the in-between of 4 to 5, which is what you could show us. I'm kind of here for that. I'm kind of here for that. I suggested something similar to this when it came to potentially having a scene with Stu again in one of these new movies. Show a recording that Randy made before the events of Scream 1, where it's all of them, you know, just fucking around, you know, just doing whatever. There you go. That's your way to bring back everybody, and it all makes sense. So something like that, I actually could totally see. They made home movies of them living together, maybe in New York, maybe while they were still in Woodsboro, something. I could see something like that. That would be fun. As long as it progresses the story and gives us a bit of a nostalgia. Fuck yeah. Run it. Run it and make it happen, Eric. I vibe with that. I vibe with that a lot, man. I don't know about being on a movie set again, though. That's my big thing. I'm so worried about this movie rehashing something from the past. I really, really, really want Scream 7 to be something new, something fresh, something that hasn't been done again. Or something that hasn't already been done, I should say. Which is what I'm really, the biggest thing that I have, my biggest worry about the film. I'm all about a Sydney story. You just got to do it differently. You know, that's the biggest thing. I can't say it enough. I'm so worried that you're going to see a random Prescott character come out of the fucking woodwork by the time the credits roll. I'm your secret sister now. You thought you just had a secret brother. Oh no. Dude, I'd be rolling my eyes. I'd be like, you gotta be kidding me, dog. Come on now. Now I know Kevin Williamson didn't write that script. And I think the majority of his twists really kick ass in this franchise. So we should get something good. He should, you know, once again, I do believe he's ghostwriting this one a little bit. I hope he's doing something. I hope he's doing something to give us a good twist, because that's another area of improvement upon the last film. I think the majority of us could sniff out Dermot Mulroney in the last film. If they can do anything to improve upon that element in Scream 7, give us a better twist. Give us something that's really shocking, really surprising. Maybe it's Stu, because that unfortunately makes way too much sense right now. But also, maybe they give us an actually good twist, and it's not just a cop-out. But I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna be wrapping up the stream here. I will be live again probably this Friday. With a live stream, just watching Ghostbusters 2. It's gonna be a watch party stream for sure. I don't know if I'm gonna go live again this week. I'm super busy these next 2 days, but maybe I might do an early stream. Something I've been thinking about a lot lately. I have a few people who have messaged me over on Twitter and Instagram saying they want to see streams, but you know, with time zone conflictions, they just can't make it out to some of these later ones that happen around 7 to 10 my time. Like it's almost midnight my time right now. Some people, they're just waking up. Some people, it's crazy. So I'm gonna try to do like some morning streams for me, like around like noon my time. I don't know. I might do something like that in the next 2 days. No promises, but definitely a live stream on Friday watching Ghostbusters 2, leading up, of course, to Ghostbusters Afterlife next Friday when Ghostbusters Frozen Empire comes out. So we have a lot of really fun stuff coming up. Make sure to check it all out. And of course, Scream 7 updates galore. You guys know. You guys already know. So thanks for being here. Really appreciate you guys. Thanks to everyone who supported the channel tonight. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all. Peace out!